Aesop's fables, right? And we're going to actually be doing a listening comprehension lesson today. Now, we usually do reading comprehension, but a big part of what we want you all to learn as English language learners is to also be able to listen and comprehend. So that means that at this point in time, everybody should be listening. So you need to put your pens down, put your books down, stop writing, and you should be listening. Stop reading. Listening. Okay? And so what you're going to do today is that you're going to be doing some listening skills. And there are 3 main skills that you're going to be doing. Well, 4 main skills. The first thing is that you're going to be learning some new vocabulary. Okay? So that's the first skill that we're going to do. Okay, learn some new vocabulary. And then the second thing that you're going to do is that you're going to be taking some notes. As, of course, you are listening. The third strategy you're going to do today, we're going to do some re-listening where we listen again. And finally, we're going to be doing some summarizing. And through these 4 strategies that we have, by doing these 4 strategies, hopefully at the end of your lesson or our lesson, you should be able to listen and comprehend a fable that I read to you or that you hear, and be able to retell the fable, which means to summarize the fable. Okay, so that's the main goal, for you to have a successful summary at the end. So the first thing that we're going to do, let's review the elements of a fable very quickly, just so that you remember what you are looking for, right? You don't need any books. I didn't tell you to get any books. I said let's review. So at this point, you should have everything in your brain, because we've been doing fables for at least 2 or 3 weeks now. What are the 4 main elements of the story? When we're doing, you think about the fable plan that we did on Friday or Thursday, when we did the writing lesson. Vic, what does every fable have?
A moral.
A moral. Very good. What's another thing that the fable will have as we look at the points, Victoria? Characters. And characters are usually?
Animals.
Animals. And sometimes the characters can also be? Humans. Very good. What else would a fable have? Dixie? A problem. Very good. And another thing, Anthony? Very good. What do the animals do to act like humans? Very good. And Edward, what's another thing? A solution. So we're going to have a problem and solution. And there's one more element to a fable, if you remember what we did in our writing lesson last time, Victoria. What is the other element that we're missing? So we have character, problem, solution. Shh. Jonathan, what is it? Do you remember? Setting, right? We have a setting, all right? So in your lesson, as you're listening today, you have to listen for these things. You have to listen for the character. Listen for where the story is set. Listen for the problem. Listen for the solution. Listen for the moral. And also listen to see what the characters do to act like humans, okay? So that's the first thing. Now, in this fable that you're going to read, there are going to be a few new words. And so I want you to know the new words before we begin so that you understand the story. So the first word that you're going to hear in this story is a lark. Does anybody know what a lark is?
Oh.
Lawrence.
It's kind of bird.
It's kind of bird, okay? Yeah, so you need to know that a lark is a bird, all right? The second thing that you need to know what the word reap means. So we know lark is a bird. What does the word reap mean? If you reap something, what part of speech is what the word reap mean? Juliet? Harvest. So reap means to harvest. Okay? Harvest. And so therefore, if we go back to what we learned about prefixes and suffixes, a reaper is what? Victoria? A person who reaps or harvests. Okay?
Harvest. Like a farmer?
Basically a farmer. Basically a farmer, okay? And then finally, you should that you would grow on a farm. Then you need a neighbor. You know this word. Yeah. Somebody who lives nearby, next door. And finally, a relative.
Oh yeah. This is a hard word.
Family member. A family member. Okay? So now, what I want you to do is you have to put your ears on. You really, really have to put your ears on for this next activity. Because you are going to hear a story 3 times. You're going to listen to the same story 3 times. The first time that you hear the story, you are only going to be listening. You are not going to be writing, you're not going to be reading, you're only going to be listening, okay? The second time that you hear the story, you are going to be re-listening and taking notes, okay? So you're going to be re-listening to the story for a second time and taking notes, and your taking notes in this activity is actually going to be drawing a picture.
Yeah.
So instead of taking notes in the form of words, you're going to be drawing sketches that retell the story. And then the third time that you listen to the story, you will continue to take notes, where you will continue drawing your pictures. You will listen again, okay? And at the end of your third listening, then you will be able to summarize. And so basically, what you're going to end up with is basically like a comic book version of your story. So, I'm going to give you a paper that looks like this. Okay? And what you're going to do during the second and third reading is that you're going to draw pictures that tell the story. And then, once you've listened to the story 3 times, you can write underneath what is happening, and basically at the end, you should have an entire summary of the story, okay? So for example, it may look like this.
Whoa.
At the end. Okay? Or I can show you. Some of them are not finished. But you all will finish because your level is a bit higher. So you have to finish. It's not something that you can take home and do. Or something like that. Remember, you need to tell me the morals. Or like this. Yes, but you can color at the end, okay? Because coloring will be done after you've already listened, okay? So I'm going to let you listen a few times. All right, Dixie, can you give everybody one of these, please? Get your pencils ready. You really only need your pencils.
There are erasers.
And erasers. Okay. The good thing about listening to the audio version is also because it's going to have several different voices, okay? You have to close the book. It's a listening exercise, so you should not have your book open. All right, for the title is The Lark and Her Young Ones.
Oh, I read the title. I know this.
A few of you may know it, but I'm pretty sure that most of you have never heard this one. And so this is a good exercise where you really have to depend on your listening skills, okay? Young ones, the babies. Okay, ready? You have to be quiet. There should be no talking as you're listening.
Home in a cornfield. A lark and her young ones had made their home in a cornfield. The corn was almost ripe,
Writing, listening.
would soon be ready for harvesting. But the lark was afraid that the reapers would come before her young ones were ready to fly. So, every day before she left to look for food, she would warn her baby chicks.
Be alert. Listen carefully and report to me all sounds and voices that you hear in my absence.
One day, when she was gone, the baby larks heard the master of the field say to his son, "Flew away," and sure enough, the corn in the field was harvested the next day.
Okay, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to start sketching. You can start writing. And if you use a book, it is considered cheating, by the way. I shouldn't see anybody using a book. Okay, I'm going to play it again now. And this time you can continue to sketch and listen. You need to focus from the beginning of the story so you know what happens from the beginning until the end. You should not be distracted by what anybody else is doing. You should be listening so that you can understand.
A lark and her young ones had made their home in a cornfield. The corn was almost ripe and would soon be ready for harvesting.
Okay, you can continue to sketch. I'll give you 2 more minutes, and then I'll play it again. Well, this is why we're practicing. Yeah. Huh? You'll have to color it at the end. Yeah, if you're finished drawing, you can draw right together. Now you're just doing the assignment, okay? So, you do it in whatever order you want to do it in. By now, you should know what the story is about. And you should be able to retell the story through words and pictures. But I'm going to play it one more time for you to get the final little details in case you need to add a few more details. That's what the third listening will be for.
The corn was almost ripe and would soon be ready for harvesting. But the lark was afraid that the reapers would come before her young ones were ready to fly. So, every day before she left to look for food, she would warn her baby chicks.
Be alert. Listen carefully and report to me all sounds and voices that you hear in my absence.
One day, when she was gone, the baby larks heard the master of the field say to his son,
"The corn is almost ripe. Go and tell all our neighbors and friends to arrive here early tomorrow to help us reap the corn."
When the lark came home, and sure enough, the corn in the field was harvested the next day.
Okay, I will give you 5 minutes to finish. 5 or 10 minutes. Okay, since we don't have any more time today, you're going to give in your pictures, however they are. Put your name on the top, and we will finish it tomorrow. I'm going to let you listen to the story one more time in the morning to refresh your memory, and then we will finish it. Because some of you are not, most of you aren't done. So put your name on the picture.